Hello, detectives. It's Christy. Welcome to the making of my casebook. Now, this is going to be kind of a drawn out process because I don't really have a plan yet. First thing I want to do is make the body of it. Then we're going to add some pages in and then we'll go from there. But I do have a thought about the body. So I've got 3 file folders here that have been cut down. This one is 8 3/4 by 9. So 8 3/4, 9. These two are each 7 3/4 by 9. Okay. Here's what I want to do. 1 second. Where did I put it? Oh. I've got some drywall joint tape, I think is what this is called. And it's just paper that you can use to I think they use it to fill in the cracks between the drywall or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, um, we are going to cut a couple of pieces of this. Where did I just, oh, we're going to cut a couple of pieces of this and we want it to be 9 inches long, which is the width size of my paper trimmer here. I'm going to go a little over just because that's crooked and so I want to fix it. I just got this guillotine trimmer yesterday. My husband bought it for me. And Amazon delivered it same day and I was so happy because my other one no longer cuts straight. Well, that is so weird. And is honestly kind of a menace. So there we go. Um, there we go. Now we got it. Okay. So I want those two. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and fold this in half. Ooh, I should have cut one more. No, this is fine. I'm going to cut the big one in half and I'm going to use this to, well, actually, I'm going to need a wider spine than that is the deal. Okay, so I'm folding these in half towards the center, each piece in half towards the center. I think that what it's going to come down to is that I'm going to need a wider spine than what this is going to offer. But also, I don't really want to cut the book down. I'd like to keep it this size. Now I can fold it. This is what I normally do. I fold it here, and then this becomes the spine. I guess that's what we're going to do. It just changes the size of the book. But it's fine. And then what I would normally do is I would come in here and I would place this in here on top of the spine. And now we've got it completely reinforced, right? Let's go ahead and cut this down because, well, wait a minute. Let me think. Yeah, let's go ahead and cut it down. Because we want it to be fairly even. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mush this in the center like so, and that'll make it the size so that it'll be the same size on both sides. Like that. Okay. All right. I swear I do kind of know what I'm doing. Almost, sort of, a little bit. Okay, and so then we're going to put that there to reinforce the spine. I can also put it on the outside since we're going to eventually decorate the outside instead of the inside, which might be a little bit preferable at the moment, actually. Let's do that. Normally I'll put them on the inside, but it really doesn't make any difference since I'm going to decorate the outside. Like on my little golden book journals, it makes a difference because I don't do anything to the outside. I just keep the little golden book thing. But for my casebook, I mean, it doesn't really matter. So we might as well do it the easier way, right? Right. Absolutely, Christy. Right. So we're going to line that up real good. And then we're going to let it sit here and dry for a minute because that's going to get stiff. Okay. So now we need to make sure that these are still small enough because I need them to fold in, and then I still need this to be able to close. These are going to be fine. Okay. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to lay these side by side, okay? I'm going to take this and I'm going to actually cut this in half. Now I'm going to fold these in half because I'm just making gussets, right? So I'm going to fold them in half. Guys, I should have made this video days and days ago. Today, the murder will be announced, and I don't even have my casebook done, and that is unacceptable. Okay, so if I put that there, then that's going to glue. Neat. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. I have been doing so many things, and they're wonderful things, you know, like I have not had to work on anything really that I don't enjoy, other than I don't enjoy trying to figure out how to fit all of my stuff. I love to organize. I just don't love the stress of what am I going to do with this thing that I have no spot for. And I really need to get rid of those things. But I have this fear of doing that because I've decluttered so many times, so many things over the last year. And, you know, I went on this whole thing that Dana K. White and Cass from Clutterbug and Dawn from Minimal Mom all say, you know, get rid of it and you won't ever miss it or whatever. You know, 95% of the time, you won't ever even miss it. And guys, I have regretted almost everything that I got rid of. And I mean, right now, I threw out so many magazines, and I went to try and get some magazines for fussy cutting for my glue book. And the place that I got my magazines that always had tons of magazines, all their good ones are gone. So obviously I wasn't the only one, but I threw all those magazines away, guys. And do you know how much a magazine costs these days? It's crazy. Look how good that's going to fit. Okay, let's do this side. So I have seriously, seriously regretted everything well, almost everything I've decluttered. Not quite everything, but almost everything. And now I'm very, very, very hesitant to throw anything out. So all that to say, now I'm sitting here going, okay, what am I going to do with all this stuff, you know? that I have no spot for? And the answer is, I don't flippin' know. I don't know what to do with it. I know that I don't want to get rid of it. Most of it. Some of it I don't care. Um, I've got quite a few of the little like organizer things that I'm only holding on to because I'm like, well, what if I need them somewhere? Right. What if I can find a spot where I need an organizer that these would look okay? Because for the most part, I've been replacing the organizers in my craft room to kind of make them all match. So I really don't need some of them. Some of them I really don't need in my craft room. But I might need them somewhere. And so I'm real hesitant to get rid of those too, even though I really don't care. It's not like I have a personal stake, like I think, oh, I'm going to regret, getting rid of those. I don't see that happening, especially like a lot of them are like Dollar Tree organizers and stuff. So it's stuff that I could replace very expensive. Oh, I'm so sorry I bumped you. I could replace very inexpensively, but um, still and yet, still and yet, I'm just hesitating on anything, and it's ridiculous. Okay, so that's going to fold in like that. That's going to fold in like that. And then that's going to come together like that. And that's going to be my casebook. Now, pages are going to go in here. A signature is going to go in here. I think I want to put a signature in here and a signature in here. So I think we're going to go ahead and reinforce this area and this area as well, just to be on the safe side. Because right now that's what I'm envisioning that I'm going to do, right? So let me cut a couple of more of those. So the murder will be announced at 7 p.m. Central Time tonight. That's when that video goes up. And I'm super excited about that. I think it's going to be a really interesting case for us. I'm not going to say anything about it because you guys will get Investigate with Me videos, which will be me working in my casebook. But since the murder hasn't even been announced yet, I'm not going to talk really about the specifics about the case in this video because we're not ready for that yet, right? So we're not going to go into, although I could just post this one after the other one's posted, but I think I'm going to hold off until Thursday's video when we do an Investigate with Me, which will be me working in my casebook. And we will talk extensively about the case at that point while I work on it. But for now, I don't know if you guys saw or not. I think I have not yet watched it. But Tara put up a video where she did a flip through of the printables that I created for the case. So you guys should check that out if you have not already. I want to go and watch it myself. And I need to print the pages for my journal from my kit. And yeah. Also, I bought some like corkboard looking paper to do a what do you call it? A crime scene board, right? Huh. I knew I had one somewhere that needed to be trimmed. That one. Um, this one. Okay, so this got a little crooked here. And I'm wondering if I care. I think we can make it work. I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. I'm going to see. Okay, so here's the body, guys. Here's the body of the journal. And then, like I said, it will fold in, it will fold in, it will fold in. Or the casebook. I keep saying the journal, the casebook. Like that. Now what I need to do is to gather up my papers and make sure I've printed enough. And then we will come back and we'll put the whole thing together. So I'm going to pause the video here and I will be back. Okay, y'all. Oh, before we start working on the pages, I have a thought about this. So this is where you open it. And I have a thought about this that I wanted to go ahead and do while it was in, fresh in my brain. So I want to take this piece of file folder and I want to actually cut this in half, and then we're going to cut it down to just smaller than these. Now these are 5 3/4 wide and 9 inches tall, right? So we want to go, we want to keep the 9 inches tall, I think, but we want to go just under that 5 3/4. Now this has a little bend in it, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that bend off. And then I'll turn it around and we'll get the 5 3/4. Or no, we want just under the 5 3/4, right? So let's just go 5 1/2. Or let's just go just over 5 1/2. See how that looks before we decide for sure. Yeah. Yep. It could stand to be slightly shorter. Let me see. So we were at 9. Let's go to like literally just under 9. And see how that looks. Okay. Yep. I am happy with that. So we're going to go ahead and cut the other side. So again, I'm going to cut off that little like bend area first. Then we're going to turn this around. We're going to go just over 5 1/2. And just under 9. There we go. So for the moment, that's all I need the cutter for. I'll throw that one away and keep these. So here's my thought. I want to put these on here like this. So let's start by doing that. I have to remember where the heck I put my glue. Okie dokie. So I had this idea. What I'm going to try to do here is to make a filing cabinet. One of the cases we did, and I cannot remember now which one it was. Kathy Orlando was one of the detectives on that case. The things that Kathy did in one of the cases was, and I'm pretty sure it was Kathy, she created a filing cabinet and it was so cool. Kathy is one of the most talented paper artists that I know. And she comes up with some really cool ideas. So I'm kind of copying her. Sorry, Kathy, but I love you. Um, and so what I'm going to do is I am going to take the purple and I'm going to turn this into the file drawers. Okay. And so what I thought I would do is to do this like this. Okay. So there will be 3 drawers on each side. We'll have a bigger bottom one. And then the middle 2. Yeah, that's right. So something like this. Actually, I think this one needs to be on top. It's slightly smaller, I think. I don't know. Anyway, so that's what I thought we would do. And what I want to do with these is I want to take them and so like for, okay, so I'm like, let me show you with this one. I want to cut from this a small like rectangle, okay? Then I'm going to cut out a center portion. And then on this is going to be the piece that slides in that we can write on, okay? Then it's going to have a drawer pull, and then it's going to, or a file pull, and then it's going to fit right here as a pocket, right? So I don't know if that made sense, but this is kind of where my brain is going right now, okay? So I think for this, we're going to want this to be about like, okay, so what did we do again? Just over 5.5 wide, is that right? Let's just, oh, that's the wrong cutter. Let's just make sure that I'm right before we do anything. Pretty sure it's, yeah, so just over 5.5 wide. So what I'm thinking for this is let's go like just over 4.5 lengthwise, okay? And this is wallpaper. So it's not going to cut as easily as paper itself does. I mean, it does fine, but I'm just saying like it doesn't cut as cleanly on there. Okay, so, and then for this way, let's just go ahead and do, what have we got this way? We've got just over 3, right? So let's go ahead and we'll go 3, I think. No. Let's go 2.5. You know what? That's only going to give me 1. I had to go much, much smaller than planned, but it worked, guys. And if it hadn't, I would have just done something besides the wallpaper. I just liked the way the wallpaper looked. Okay. So the wallpaper is going to be our little thing that the this is going to slide in and out of, right? So we need this part open. So I'm going to fold it in half. I'm not going to crease it. I'm just going to fold it in half. I'm going to cut about here. And then I'm going to come to this end and cut about the same spot. I am not worried about getting this perfect. I know, but it's a casebook, guys, and it's a junk journal casebook to boot, so I'm just not going to worry about it. So, have you guys chosen the stuff that you want to use for your casebook yet? Have you, I know a few of you have purchased my collection that I created. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it, especially, you know, now. We won't get into that. But I really, really do appreciate you guys doing that. And I hope that you do find that to be useful to you. I will definitely be using the collection in my casebook. I don't know. I intend to do a lot of other things as well, but I will definitely be using my collection in my casebook. Now this is the Case Essentials collection, right? So this is the things that you need just to get started with. You don't need all of it. It's stuff you can use to get started with, right? Some of it may or may not be useful to the case. There was, some stuff that just felt right. Let me grab. And some of it is just going to depend on how you use it, right? I put in a lot of options for your own, for your detective persona. There's a lot of people, and then there's also like game pieces, game tokens, if you'd rather use that. So I made sure that there were a lot of options for your personal persona or whatever you want to use them for. I love the game pieces. They're fun, but I have a thing about game pawns. I love game pawns. So, yeah, that could just be a me thing. But they're there if you want to use them, right? Okay, guys. I think this looks pretty good. And if we take this and we're going to cut this to just over the size of this opening. So let's see how big this opening is. It is like 1.25 by 3/4. So we want this to be I switched cutters just because I wasn't thinking. So we want this to be about 3/4. I'm going to line this up there. Okay, and then about, what did I say? 1.25. We're going to go to, or I'm sorry, 1.25. We're going to go about 1.5. Let's see if that'll fit. It might still be too big. Look, it's perfect. Now this is off center, but I'm okay with that. I don't care. Look how cool that looks. And then, okay, I lied, guys. It's bothering me. I need it to be centered. Is that better? Now it's crooked, isn't it? Oh, gosh. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but oh no, now it's way off. Fudge. Okay, let me put some more glue on it. I should have left it alone. I should have said, no, Christy, leave it alone. You're going to drive yourself crazy. Because I am. Okay. Okay. All right. right. I think that's good. All right, so then we're going to glue. So, oh, you know what? You probably are gonna, if you do this, you're probably gonna want to take a piece of washi. It doesn't matter what washi. I'm trying to find something I don't use a lot. You're gonna want to take a piece of washi and cover up the thing, just so that it doesn't move on you, or not move on you, just so that when you put something in the pocket, it doesn't catch on it. That's what I was trying to say. But I can't brain today because of the Benadryl. Or at least that's what I'm going to blame the not being able to brain on. Because, you know, sometimes you just got to have something to blame stuff on. All right, so we're going to put that right there. Guys, I'm loving it already. It looks fabulous. Okay, and we're going to have to let that dry before we put this back in there, because otherwise it'll, well, it doesn't really matter if it sticks. I don't intend to take it out, right? So, I mean, I might, but I don't expect to. Okay. So, I'm going to do this with every one of these. I'm not going to ask you to sit and watch me do that. I'll be back. Okay, friends, I think we're going to call that a video for today. Thank you so much for joining me as I began making my casebook. By the time you see this video, I will have done a lot more work off camera on my casebook, as well as filmed our very first investigate with me for this case. So I look forward to seeing you in our in that next video. Talk to you all soon. Bye for now. Bye.